So I would really like now to welcome INESE. So INESE, DABOLA is going to be presenting RIBOCA3 has been postponed. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And first of all, thank you for your short comment. I think it was very strong, and it wasn't. I would be happy for a possibility to continue this discussion, because we all face those questions, and I think they are very important to consider them short or long, how much time ever we need. And thank you for this very important event and this discussion in general. Thank you for having me, and thank you all who still stayed here. I know this is a very intensive time, and as I heard, there will also be a recording, and we will be happy to share this. And what I wanted to say that, yes, this is our time. Exactly, as you just said, it's not something that we are reading about in history books. This is our time when it's our time to react, and there has been never a war which we can face as a reality show, when we know right away, not in after generations. And it's our responsibility to figure out how to react as artists, as curators, as representatives of art institutions. We need to find those right answers to that. And most important, like answers as humans. And also I have to say, sorry if it's too quiet, also I have to say it is very human to find a way how to live in any circumstances. It's normal if you are looking for the ways how to escape, how to be happy, how to find a way to live with this situation. It is absolutely normal to look for happiness, but when something bad affects us directly, we are sad, shocked, depressed, and then it's questioned for how long. But if something terrible happens a bit more far away, we definitely know it's bad, because we can understand that war is bad, rape is bad, hunger is bad, any kind of aggression is bad. But sometimes when it's a bit further away, we think about it for a way shorter period, and then we carry on with our own lives. But as further away it is, and it doesn't affect us, it is easier for us to live with that, to be less affected. What I want to say, as also representing our institution, we can't afford. We don't have that time. And yes, life is now, and yes, it is our time, and it is important to think about all those questions you were also just raising. And any individual reaction or any opinion, it does matter. And doesn't matter how far away we are from one another or how close. Whatever happens, one reaction creates another. Something that is happening creates something else. So I'll tell you a bit more about, as I was asked to share our own personal experience about Riga International Biennial of Contemporary Art. That was funded in 2016 by Agnia Mirgorodskaya. And initial idea of Agnia was never, for example, to make Riga a touristic destination, which sometimes is accusation of biennials. The main reason for the biennial in Riga was because today you don't know much about Latvian, Lithuanian, Estonian artists. Baltic art is not represented well enough. And the idea was to create this open platform where curators have carte blanche and can do whatever, and artists can also freely produce their works and sometimes do something that they can't do out of the reason that they sometimes need to think more commercially. And the first edition, which happened in 2018 and was curated by Katarina Gregas, was a success. Some of journalists also mentioned it like one of the best events in Europe of that year. We were so happy, and we thought that we were also very optimistic, and that we thought that, yes, this is how we continue. So after this first year, we were preparing for the second one, and second one, titled And Suddenly It All Blossoms, curated by Rebecca Lamache-Waddell, was planned on 2020. You know that 2020 is very famous for pandemia. So 2 weeks prior to the opening, to the start of installation, our country, Latvia, went to the lockdown. So we, in a way, were lucky because we never started the installation at that point, but we had to realize that no, we are canceling all the invitations. It was more than 5,000 people coming for the opening. It's not going to happen. It's a pandemia. We can't put our team or artists or our guests in risk, and it's not allowed anyways. And in the beginning, as also you said, it's a bit similar experience that you had. In the beginning, the first reaction is you don't know how to react because you have never been in such situation. And it is definitely a crisis at that time. And we thought that it is the worst thing that could happen to us. Nothing worse will ever happen. We need to survive this. And then we will figure out the rest. And what we did, yes, we firstly looked at others, what are others doing, what about the digital proposals or art world, how can we rethink? But our curator, Rebecca Lamashvadel, suggested, guys, as more than 85% of the artworks are already ready, why don't we anyway install them and then change the medium of the biennial to the full-length film, which we actually did. So we installed the whole biennial in the amazing venue, and we made the film together with Latvian director Davis Sīmanis, and if anyone wants to see it, it's still possible to see. And it's not a documentary where, I don't know, there is a guide who says, like, there is this one artwork, there is another, and let me show you around. No, it's something between documentary and fiction, where, as actually we discussed with Christian Aksenius, that maybe we have created a new genre, that maybe this is something that also could be useful for future biennials or big-scale exhibitions, how to share the ideas, the artworks, the thoughts of the artists with a different medium, because film provides you this digital world, but it also, if it's the quality is high, then it also can give you this feeling of the journey. And we were very, very lucky because also in some COVID cases in Latvia was like 1 or 2 or none, so government also allowed us to have physical exhibition as well. So for 3 weeks we still managed to have it. So we think that with that crisis we managed. And now we were preparing for the third one, which was planned to be curated by René Bloch, and we were very happy and very humbled for the possibility to work with René. And the exhibition was planned to open actually July this year. Most of the exhibition is already ready, of course, because now we are in April. This is the most intense time. But then what happened is that we woke on February 24th, all of us, and when we woke up, we realized that war in Europe has started, that Russia is invading Ukraine, Kiev has been bombed, and this is something absolutely unimaginable. And how one can react to that? What do? You post on social media, you think maybe there is some kind of misunderstanding and you misunderstood something, or what do you do actually at that point? Maybe you pack your family and run because you think that you need to protect the closest ones, and because this is going to spread. We were all in the same fear. But basically what we all did, more or less, especially what I did, I just woke up, fixed myself, and went to the office. I started my day. But what was different at that time, of course, it's end of February. It's quite a few months before the exhibition. We are in this very intense preparation period, which means installation, production, communication materials, visit plannings, everything, so it's very intense. But it was physically impossible, unimaginable, just to continue, as I may say so, business as usual. It was so hard, and it was honestly impossible just to, plan artist visits. And we were planning also a reception in Venice during the Venice opening, but it's first of all irrelevant. And as contemporary art institution, you need to take circumstances in consideration. So after we discussed the situation with the team and our curators, René Bloch and his associate curator, Nico Anklem. And on Friday, we announced that we are postponing our preparation at that time, that we are focusing now on figuring out how to help, because that was we thought at that time, the most important. And no matter whether you are an artist or you are a doctor or a teacher, you are a human being and you just need to provide help. We also published online our personal contacts, and we're trying to figure out how to. And except that, on Sunday we figured out that the best thing that we can do, we know how to organize things, so we decided to create a social cultural center called Common Ground, which is a center for everyone who had to flee their homes because of the war, and they found themselves in Riga. We created the center in basically 2 weeks, which was also amazing. It's a yellow brick building in the area where Biennial was meant to be, and in 2 weeks, with the help of partners and a lot of friends, family members, we repainted the walls and found the furniture and created this place, which I hope gives some kind of rescue, help, and support everyone. And now the center itself, it has its own culture program, public program, activities, and a lot of things are happening there. But this is just the one thing as physical decision or physical thing that we could help and what we could do, but it's not enough also. It's just one thing that we could do at that moment, and this place is up and running and hundreds of people are coming every day, and some are just using the restrooms, some are happy that they have someone to talk with, and someone has the place to share their needs and find someone to help with them. And this is additionally because government in Latvia is providing accommodation or transportation, humanitarian aid. This is more like social, culture, political response. But then we were also in an illusion that we will still have a biennial, but maybe in August or September, but Bucha happened. And when we found out about all the crimes that are happening in Ukraine and all the crises that are there, it just still, from different point of views, unimaginable just to continue with the exhibition how it was imagined before. So in order also to give our artists a possibility and time to reflect and respond, and also for us to find the best ways how to react now, it was a very hard decision, but we had to postpone. We decided to postpone the biennial in general, and we really hope that it will be possible to organize it next year in 2023. Exhibition is titled Exercises in Respect, and respect is definitely something that we all should exercise more on. And I will also read our statement that we published, because it's important that I don't skip any part of it. In response to the war in our region, we do not see it possible to open the third Riga International Biennial of Contemporary Art this year. The exhibition curated by René Bloch, titled Exercises in Respect and previously planned to open on July 15th, must be postponed, and we hope to open it in summer 2023. In times like these, to envision working towards an exhibition that was supposed to be a vast celebration of art, respect and togetherness feels inconceivable while crimes are still being committed in Ukraine. We strongly condemned the Russian attack on Ukraine, and we are united with everyone who calls for an immediate end of the war. As a contemporary art institution, it is our responsibility to provide a space where artists and public can interact, engage in discussions, and reflect on our realities. Therefore, together with artists, other art and cultural institutions, curators, and art professionals, we are initiating an open discussion to rethink the art industry's place in the wider world. We must reconsider the validity of the biennial format in times like these. There must be discourse on how the art world and biennials can influence and engage in societies during period of war and conflict. What kind of platform for expression and exchange do artists, curators, and our society need? Our hearts go out to everyone who is suffering in this war. This is an unimaginable tragedy where no one should remain indifferent. We express our enormous respect to everyone who does not keep quiet and is helping those in need. So while postponing the biennial, we are still inviting everyone who is willing to keep this discussion and find the best possible ways to face any questions, even those who are very uncomfortable, and to discuss them, because you can't call yourself contemporary art institution if you skip something. You have to be very open today. And one of the reasons why we are all here today in Venice for the opening now, it's not only for the art, let's be honest, it's also because it's important for us to meet with each other. It is important to connect. So let's meet and let's connect and let's make it worth it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anna.